Are you having a hard time deciding what you want to grow in your garden this year? I know, especially when I first started gardening, how overwhelming it is because there are so many varieties and things you would never even heard of. Today, I'd like to share with you a few of the things that I think about as I decide what and what varieties I'm going to grow in my garden this year. Now, you'll hear people say, grow what you like to eat, and that's really good advice, but I like to take it a step further and think about growing what tastes really good garden fresh. Now, that kind of seems like a really big statement because, of course, most things fresh out of the garden taste better. But there are things like corn that I'm still learning how to grow, whereas I'm in Alberta, so I can get some fresh Tabor corn in the summer that's way better than anything I can actually grow. So I'm still going to try to grow the corn. I'm just not going to put as much energy and effort into it, or space if you're limited in space, because I'd rather grow things like peas or tomatoes or carrots that taste really good fresh out of the garden, and grow them organically so you can just wipe that dirt right off of that carrot and eat it right out of the garden. Now, the second thing I like to think about when I'm planning my garden is to grow things that are expensive in the grocery store that I'm spending a lot of money on. Now, for me, that's things like berries. So I'm lucky I have a lot of wild raspberries on my property that I like to forage and harvest and make jams and freeze throughout the year. But also strawberries. I highly encourage everybody to grow some strawberries. They're perennial, they'll come back every year, and they keep throwing off runners, so you'll continually get new strawberry plants. They're also one of those highly contaminated, sprayed foods, so to be able to get them freshly, organically out of your garden, it's way better for you. And then you can go ahead and make the jams and freeze them as well, so you can enjoy them all throughout the year. Now, the third thing that I like to think about is to grow something unique. For me, this started with kind of the summer squash. So, you start out growing those just straight up green zucchini, which are great, very prolific. But then I discovered patty pan squashes, these neat little kind of look like an alien spaceship almost thing. And those are really fun to grow. And of course, last year I went a little overboard and grew a lot. But this year I'm going to make some more uniqueness in my garden. I'm growing a different variety of patty pan. They're like a white and green one. So hopefully that'll kind of bring that unique excitement back to the garden. Also, for the last few years, I've been growing cucamelons. So these are those little tiny cucumbers, look like little mini watermelons. I've never found them in a grocery store. They don't grow a lot here, but we get a few pints and we're able to snack on them in the garden. And again, just something unique and different that brings that excitement to the garden, so it's not like you're growing something you can just go buy. So when you're looking for something like cucumber seeds, you can grow one or two plants of something else like the cucamelons or the lemon cucumbers, just to have that little bit of variety of uniqueness. Now, lastly, for me, what I like to think about is growing stuff that's easy to preserve. Now, I know not everybody has the space and ability to grow a lot of stuff to preserve, but even something like these winter squash, even if you just grow one plant and have 4 or 5, they'll last throughout the winter. And then in the middle of winter, you're going to be able to have that fresh garden taste of something from your garden with very little preservation. Something like potatoes are also really good for that too. So as we're in the middle of garden planning, I thought I'd share those with you to hopefully make your decisions a little bit easier of what to grow in the garden this year, because right around the corner, we're going to be starting some seeds. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.